Well, hi there, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to the show. Um, just so we're all on the same page, because
It's
I
pizza
know,
night.
well, it is. Yeah, yes, it is, and I just got mine. Um, and I ordered from Cafe del Sol again, so I'm having fancy pizza, not one of my frozen ones, but
Ooh, fancy. What'd you get on your pizza?
yeah, it is the one that I usually get from Cafe del Sol. It is green peppers and olives and
I'm
mushrooms.
not a fan of. I like almost everything that's edible
But you
except
don't
green
you don't
peppers.
like green peppers, yeah.
I do not like green peppers. I had them on pizza. That let's see, there was veggie pizza. Oh yeah, our school pride committee got teachers pizza, and they had like a meat lovers pizza and a veggie pizza and a supreme pizza and a cheese pizza. And so I tried the veggie one and the meat lovers one, and the veggie one had olives, and they might have had onions. I don't remember, or if there was, I picked a piece that didn't have very many onions on it. Because I'm not real big on onions, but less so
Yeah.
than less not bigger than I used to be. And it had olives and mushrooms, and there was other vegetables on it too. But I remember the olives and mushrooms were still pretty good. And then it also, oh, there was something else that was green on it. And spinach.
Spinach. Oh,
Olives,
yeah.
mushrooms, and spinach. And then also green peppers. And I had a bite that had some green pepper in it. And I'm like, nope, still don't like green peppers. Because your taste change, your taste
Yes, of
buds,
course.
like what you like changes over time.
Of course.
So, a couple people have asked in the chat, how are you? I am doing really good. Today was such a good
You
day
had
at
a
school.
really good day today, which
I
I
had
love.
a really good
I was
day. Oh
very,
my
very happy
goodness.
to hear.
So I used a lesson that I have not used before, and I didn't know how it would go, and it went great. Like everybody did the work; they were all thoroughly engaged. The work that they produced was perhaps unintentionally hilarious, but
Oh, yeah.
useful. Showed thought, showed creativity. I was just over the moon, and I shared some of those with you earlier today. They were so great. They were so great. I'm so proud of them. And that was just so nice. That was so nice. I was so happy. I still am very happy about that. So
Well, you should be, because I mean, yeah, they a lot of them were cracking me up, and I don't even
they
know
were
these
they were
kids, and
great.
they were just really funny.
They just yeah they made me feel they were enjoyable to read, and they made me feel good about being a teacher. And as Taylor Molly says, who could ask to feel more than that?
Yeah,
Mm.
indeed.
Um Well, uh, actually, you know what? No, they we don't like make the pizza from scratch in the school cafeteria. I think they get ours frozen in the cafeteria. Now, the pizza that was gotten for teachers was like ordered from a local place. Like it wasn't there's a Little Caesars nearby, but it wasn't Little Caesars. It was like might have been Pie Slingers. I'm not sure.
Pie
Or it,
slingers.
yeah, I think that's a chain. And then there's also another place that's kind of local. So I'm not. I didn't really pay attention. I'm like, pizza,
You were just
yes,
like, hey, pizza, cool.
yeah. Well, exactly. It caught me by surprise because I actually went into the library to ask the librarian something or other. She's also our on-site tech person,
Right.
and I think I was asking her something about the computers, or do we have ones that students can borrow if they forgot theirs, or things like that, something like that. So I went in here to ask her something, and I'm like, pizza? And I would go over to like the meeting room, and I'm like, pizza? And they're like, yeah, there's pizza for teachers today. Didn't you get the email? I'm like, I don't care whether I got the email or not. Does not matter. Um, well, kids get the cafeteria. I mean, we can get cafeteria stuff too, but like sometimes teachers or clubs will purchase pizza for for their members or something. But this is
Right.
like just like a special thing for teachers. We don't usually get pizza ordered special for us. Um, and I I guess I've got just low standards or something, because it's kind of a thing where people complain about school food, and students are always like, oh, school food, da, da, da. But let me tell you, the times that I've gotten school lunch, I've been like, yes, thank you. Um, I've downed it. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
like, restaurant food or anything, but like
no,
for what you're paying for it, for even like I have to pay for it. Right now, I think we're still on the COVID thing where all student lunches are just like gratis.
yeah,
Like they can still build up lunch debt if they go back and get a la carte stuff. Like if they go back and they get an extra ice cream,
right.
you got to pay for
But
that.
but there's a certain like a
But yeah,
standard
the
kind of
base
lunch that
lunch
is yeah,
free for everybody,
which is
or
how it should have
free for
always
all
been.
students.
We,
Exactly. I
yeah,
really want to continue that. I really hope that continues.
yeah, that's how it should have
And
always been.
yeah, and then sometimes when people are saying student lunch debt shouldn't be a thing, it's like that's because we let them charge ice creams, guys. You let them charge ice creams,
Yeah,
they're gonna build up debt. It's gonna happen. Oh, Kemp, I'm so sorry. Like I said, maybe I mean I've got Papa John's over here, and you're like, haha, Dana's got. I'm like, I like it.
yeah.
I enjoy it.
I will.
I wouldn't.
I will say I agree with you. I haven't actually. I mean, you have had school food more recently than I have, obviously, because I haven't had it since I was in high school. Um, and also, who knows how much different the food at your school would be
Mhm.
from the school food I had when I was in high school. But I never thought the school food was that bad either. I mean, like you said, yeah, it's not like gourmet, dishes. It's
Like our salad bar has like fresh like spring greens and spring greens and spinach blend.
yeah. See, that's nicer than anything we had when I was in high school. But
Yeah,
like,
like
but
when
like
I
even
went to
taking
school,
it,
it was like iceberg. Now, I
yeah,
mean, I guess maybe if you prefer iceberg, you're like, oh, spinach.
even
But
taking
it's
even taking into account the number of years it's been, and thinking that school food today hopefully in most cases is probably better than it was in my day. Like the school food when I was in school, it was not that bad. It was, I mean, it was, you got the impression it was mostly reheated or frozen
mhm.
stuff. But and yeah, the pizza, it wasn't the best pizza I ever had, but it was fine. You know what I
You
mean?
know
Like
what we
they
don't
didn't.
have that I remember. I loved. Do you remember French bread pizza?
Oh God, yes. I love those. I
I
love
love
the
those so much better than the square ones.
we called them pizza boats.
Mm.
I think that's
Oops.
what they were called on the menu, where they were pizza boats. And yeah, I still get them. I get the frozen ones, like the frozen Stouffer's ones. I get them
Oh,
to
they're
this day
so nice,
sometimes. Oh, they're so good. Put them in the oven. Yeah. Um,
nice and crispy on.
yeah,
Lovely.
they're
I mean,
wonderful.
bread. So we just have like the triangle kind, and you can get cheese or pepperoni. But like I will tank up on the salad. Like they have like you have one portion for salad, and then you have one portion for like fruit, and one portion for your meal. But like, and then they have a separate line that's like just salad. So I'll go like through the main line, and then I'll duck over and I'll go through the salad line so I can get extra fixings to put on like my salad little spot, and I'll kind of keep it. And I'll be like, hi. And I'll go through and I'll put my little number in, and they'll say, hi, Miss Gold. And they'll just put me through with a regular meal. And even though I put on extra veggies, I figure it's good. Extra veggies. What's wrong with
Absolutely.
that? But they don't charge me for extra veggies. Or at least, again, I am like super cheap, you guys. And I think the teacher lunch is like $3.50. But I take my lunch. So
Do you watched House, right?
yes,
Do you remember the episode where House
probably
and
not.
how but it's you reminded me of there's an episode when House and Wilson were getting their lunch and they were like in the hospital cafeteria, and House gets a steak and then he covers the steak with like lettuce and spinach from the salad bar and then goes again and gets up to the cash register and says just a salad.
What is a steak salad?
Oh, it's great. But
Yeah, Kemp,
yeah.
same way. When I back in the day when I was in high school, we didn't get none of this fancy Michelle Obama fresh spinach stuff.
No. Well, and honestly, for most of my childhood, for really up until I was a young adult, you know what we called iceberg lettuce? Lettuce. That's the only kind we knew about. That's the only kind we ever got.
Not as good.
I mean, I think even when because I really love one of my favorite things, and I haven't gone out. I've gone out to a restaurant once since COVID started, and that was like a very special case. Um, usually when I go out to a restaurant, if the restaurant has a Caesar salad on the menu, I'll always get a Caesar salad because I love a Caesar salad. For it took me a very long time, an embarrassingly long period of my life to figure out that that was a different kind of lettuce than iceberg lettuce, because I sort of thought like, well, it's, maybe it's like from a different part of the lettuce, and then I realized, no, dude, you know what a head of iceberg lettuce looks like. You
Mhm.
like, that it's not like that. It's, but I don't know. I didn't put it together. Like,
Well,
oh, there's
also when it's
there's
chopped up,
varieties of lettuce.
depending on where they're pulling the romaine from. Like if they don't have the the really leafy tips, a lot of places like what they've got for the Caesar salad is like much closer to like
Yeah,
the root,
it's a
and
lot
so it looks
greener. Yeah,
looks and tastes, huh?
it's a lot greener.
No, like
You,
the end part is green, the leafy
oh
part.
yeah, okay, okay,
But
okay,
like
okay.
if
Yeah,
it's closer
closer
to the root,
to the root. Yeah.
yeah, to the root, it's going to be like white and pale. So, Kemp, that's actually not true. It doesn't have as much nutritional value, like as far as vitamins and stuff, as spinach does, and some of your other darker leafy greens.
Hmm.
But I mean, that's not really fair because those suckers are just like chock full of your vitamins and nutrients. Um, I will say I'm very partial. There's just different things. I'm not real big on iceberg, although I will eat it. But I don't dislike it the way I dislike bell peppers. But like spinach is so versatile. Love
Yeah.
it, absolutely love it. Not big on arugula. Don't like
Really?
arugula. Nope. It's just it's kind of peppery, which I like the peppery part of it,
Yeah.
but it's also very bitter to me.
Ah.
Not real big
Yeah.
on that. Like with the bell peppers. Bell peppers to me taste bitter. I like them if they're the red and yellow and they're roasted. That helps to sort of sweeten them up a little bit, and not so much sweeten them because the sweetness is there, but it's like sweet and bitter. Ugh.
Yeah.
But it's essentially Kemp. It's essentially water and fiber, and the fiber is good for you. It does have some vitamins in it, but like I like leaf lettuce, really good. And then like the romaine, the greener you get on the romaine, it's very much like leaf lettuce, but you might as well just get leaf lettuce. And then I also sometimes I'm in the mood for a soft lettuce like Boston or Bib. That stuff is nice and soft, and just it's not as crunchy, but it's just like very chill. Those are
Yeah.
really good with your sweeter salads, like with craisins and walnuts and a little bit of goat cheese.
And it depends on what you're using it for too. Like if I'm making a sandwich and I want some lettuce on the sandwich, I almost always use iceberg lettuce. If I'm getting
Why?
supplies like to make, because it's just what I'm used to, and it's,
Fair enough.
it's there for a little bit of
Da
crunch,
da
and
da 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 da.
it's there for a little bit of crunch, and just
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of different texture. If I'm getting supplies like that I know I'm going to use to make salads or something, then I'll get something different. I'll get like some baby spinach or some mixed spring greens, some, like something like that. Um, I use baby. You talk about how versatile it is. One of my favorite things to make for myself is I'll do fried potatoes and
Mm.
throw in some sliced mushrooms and half an onion and then a handful or two of baby spinach, and wilt that down, um, and then maybe crack an egg or two, for a little bit of extra protein. But yeah, spinach is great for something like that. Like chop it up real fine, throw it in
Mhm.
there, and just let it
Well,
kind
I
of,
will say,
you know.
you are more diligent in your cooking than I am because I just like go over to the freezer and I'll shake in some frozen spinach, be like, there we go, just
Well, I mean,
let that heat up.
yeah, I mean that's fine too, but yeah, just it's a really good ingredient in like stir fries and stuff. If you want, because I use it because I mean it's good for you and it adds some color because otherwise it would be
Mhm.
very brown, that dish I just described. And it's nice to have a pop of green in there, and it's just it's nice.
Mhm.
Would you like to meet Superman?
Yes, yes. You told me your Superman figure came in. Show
Yes.
everybody.
Okay, so the backstory behind this is I'm writing a video possibly for next week. It depends on when the other action figures I'm waiting on get here. But it's a video, it's a summary of a great Silver Age Superman comic. And I came up with a bit for the end of it where I write like a little scene between like the Silver Age versions of Superman and Batman.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I thought, what better way to illustrate it than with action figures? But I didn't have I have a bunch of Superman and Batman action figures, but I didn't have any that I felt like read specifically as Silver Age. So I got a Silver Age Superman. And there he is.
So that means this is tax deductible as a business expense, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I'm saving the receipt for next year. And I also have a Silver Age, actually, technically a Golden Age, Batman and Robin that are going to get here in the next couple of days as well. So they will star. And of course, because I was getting Robin, I went ahead and wrote a little part in the video for Robin too. So Robin's going to be in the scene.
Well, that's awesome.
So yeah, but that's my Superman. Ta-da!
Dun, dun, dun. Hi, Clark. Oh, I mean Superman.
Hey,
Sorry,
hey,
my bad.
Superman.
Sorry.
You're
Sorry,
gonna blow
right.
now.
Oh.
Oh, hey! You have a Livestrong bracelet, and
I do.
And no,
wait, you knew what it was?
Well, I know. Yeah, I know all about Livestrong and that cheater Lance
What?
Armstrong.
Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't know.
Lance Armstrong's the one who got that over. I don't know if he started it or not, but he was the one who started who popularized the Livestrong thing. But yeah, and no more fall risk bracelet.
Nope, but it's yellow. It matches. I was like, and I just cut off my fall risk bracelet on Sunday because it had just started to tear, and so it was like scraping. I'm like, okay, this is no longer cool, fun and cool. This is starting to get irritating. So bye bye. I still have it, but I'm not wearing it anymore. Hi, Sean.
But you have saved it for posterity.
And then I got this at the Y because I'm part of the Livestrong program there, which is pretty cool. So it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I get to meet with some other. I think everybody is through their treatments. I don't think anybody is currently getting treatment, but that was pretty. It's pretty neat. I'm pretty excited about it.
That's awesome. And by the way, I wanted to address something that I saw Kemp said earlier in the chat about my video that I put up today. Which was my Battlefield driving rant video. And because a couple people in the comments have pointed this out too. They're like, oh, I get so nervous. You're making a video while you're driving. I'm watching the road while I'm making the video. Like it's no more distracting to make a video like that than to like talk to someone in the car. Cause I'm mostly paying attention to driving and just occasionally glancing at the camera.
Yeah. You're just like looking kind of past the camera for the most part, it looks like.
And that, if you couldn't tell by watching it, that was not a scripted video. So it's not like I was distracted by like reading a script or trying to remember lines. Like it was off the top of my head. So it's no different from talking to someone who's in the car with you in terms of the level of distraction. And also I was actually on the battlefield when I was recording that. So there wasn't traffic. It was a one-way road and it was just the battlefield, so there wasn't like traffic.
Wait. There wasn't traffic. There wasn't somebody in front of you. It's a lie?
Not at that moment. No, there was not. I was acting. But there had been someone in front of me at an earlier point.
Was it a red F-150?
Okay, yes, it was.
Here's I watched your video, Steve.
I'm so glad you did. I hope you enjoyed it. Here's a little behind the scenes. Okay. I came up with the idea for the video on my way into the battlefield to the parking lot. I shot the video on my way out of the battlefield. I had already been to the parking lot. I was actually pulling out of the parking lot as I started the video. So, but I pretended and acted as though I were on my way to the parking lot.
Okay, Sir Ian. 255 AD. That is a great question. Let me read it to you. I've gone off house because there's a certain kind of asshole who idolize characters like him. You know the kind of people I mean, Steve Shives?
Yes. People who don't. Well, it's just there's.
It seems very pointed. I'm just saying.
Because of my vast knowledge of television and film, obviously, he's seeking out my opinion.
Sure.
That's how I interpreted it.
I believe you.
It's a lot of people who miss the point of the thing, because I feel like you get that a lot in a lot of different media, a lot of different fan bases of shows and movies and stuff. Like, a really obvious and extreme example is The Punisher. All these like fucking like all these fascists who think that the Punisher would be on their side. And it's like, you haven't read any of these comic books, have you? Or seen the show or seen any of the movies.
They just like the logo.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. That's as deep as it goes.
They like the really big teeth.
That's his. Yeah, that's
It looks he's he's smiling at us.
that's as deep as it goes. And um and with House, I think it was something similar. It was people like, oh, he's an asshole. Everybody respects him though because he's so smart. It's like that's not. You're not supposed to admire him for being an asshole. If anything, House at its best, he was portrayed as kind of a tragic figure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you, yeah, okay, admire him because he's smart, admire him because he saves people's lives. But the show repeatedly makes the point that he is a broken person.
He's miserable.
That
Like,
and he's miserable. Yeah,
yeah.
like
Let me. When I was going through my reconstruction, it was legitimately painful,
mhm.
and pretty regular. Like the the skin stretching. The just feeling the skin growing.
Sure, yeah,
It just hurt
I
and
can only
ached, and
imagine.
it's just like all the time, all the time. Sometimes worse than others, and to the extent, and I was this was after I'd been through chemo and radiation, and I was on a hormone blocker. Not really sure. I was on Arimidex at the time. I'm now off of it because long time. So anyway, and my husband was concerned that a side effect of the medication that I was on might be, that of giving you depression or affecting your mood. But that wasn't the case. I just hurt all the time.
Right,
So
you're
I
just in
was in a
pain.
crappy mood
Yeah,
all the time because like my tolerance for anything else, any other nonsense, and anything not going my way was reduced because I'm always having to deal with being uncomfortable. And I wasn't in like I was able to cope with the pain. So I wasn't medicating it like House was. I was not on anything for this because it was very low grade, but it was
but it
constant.
was constant. Yeah,
All that like did not go away until I got through that treatment. And once I recovered from the final surgery, I was just like, it was just so nice not hurt all the time. Bonus. And
yeah.
so I mean, I don't like 255 AD. I don't like watching House just because there are enough assholes in the world. I don't want to deal with them in my fiction. Thank you very much. But at the same time, like I can totally get why he is the way he is. I'm just
Yeah.
like, yes,
If you're in
I
pain
think of
that
myself as a
constantly.
relatively
Yeah.
decent person. It's just hard to be not an asshole when you hurt all the time.
Yeah.
It's like you'd have to be a freaking saint.
Yeah.
So
And Hanafus in the
I'm
chat
not
has a couple of other examples of that kind of thing with Rick from Rick and Morty and the Punisher, as I said, and also this is a big one, Rorschach from
oh
Watchmen.
yeah.
That's a big one. Talk about people totally missing the point of a character. Like Alan Moore has said repeatedly in so many interviews, the whole idea of Rorschach was to make him as extreme and unpleasant and terrible of a character as possible. Like you're not supposed to like him. That's one of the things
And
that
yet, what that shows me is that he just doesn't understand people very well, does he? That's just, guess what? That's people. Sometimes there are people who are like that.
Well, and like I mean, it's just I don't know the way I read Watchmen. One of the and I mean Rorschach is a fantastic character. Don't get me wrong. Just because he's an unlikable person doesn't mean he's not. He's a great character. One of the things that makes him a great character is that he is so unpleasant.
He's not on a recurring series.
Well,
one of the things.
One of the things that makes him so great is that even though he is such a terrible person in so many ways, at the end he is ultimately shown to have some principle. Now that doesn't redeem him. That doesn't make him suddenly a good person or an admirable person, but it just shows that he's not. There's more complexity to him.
He's not complete trash. He's not lazily written.
And there's like the irony there of like all of these sort of, relatively speaking, morally superior heroes, because all the heroes in Watchmen are morally compromised to one degree or another, but everybody else is willing to go along with Ozymandias's plan to deceive the entire world with this alien invasion. And Rorschach is the only one who refuses to go along with it, and we can debate whether or not
Mm-hmm.
he was right to do that. But the point is, the only one who said no, this isn't honest, this isn't right, you're lying to people, I won't go along with this, was Rorschach. Um, so. But it doesn't mean that he's like a hero that people should admire or want to emulate or anything like that. That totally misses the point of that character, I think. Yeah, Philip,
So
exactly.
my
Reading
hair,
Watchmen.
I washed my hair this morning, but
Yeah,
man, I noticed after I got out of the shower, I'm like, ooh, this is like a wreck. So I'm actually not very sorry. So if I was very sorry, I wouldn't do it. But I hope this is not, me taking care of the tangles in my hair, because tomorrow I've got Live Strong, and then something else. What do I have tomorrow night? Tomorrow night's Thursday. There's
do you
something
have
else that's going on Thursday night. I don't know. I've got some kind of meeting with Zoom or something. Oh, the local Dems. So I've got a meeting tonight with the scholarship committee, and then tomorrow I've got to present our scholarship proposal for that. And then Friday, of course, is Ask Away.
Yeah,
So,
busy.
yeah,
And then Saturday
nice
is your show.
My show. And so yeah, it's nice having long hair because I can just like put it up in a bun. It was like really tangled this morning. I'm like, that's okay. Just twist, clip. Doesn't matter that it's a mess. You can't tell because it's long.
It's all wrapped up.
Hi, Trek Cannon.
Hello, Trek Cannon. That's a cannon that fires Trek.
Like stars.
Sure. Yeah, Kev, I think Travis Bickle is like that to us to a degree. And you know what? So is the Joker. Huh?
Oh, what? Wait.
Who,
that's true. People do admire the Joker.
Did you ask who Travis Bickle was?
Yes.
Oh, from Taxi Driver. He's the hero of Taxi Driver, which is a movie you obviously haven't seen.
No.
Is a great movie, but yes, that's another.
I will take your word for it.
But yeah, the Joker, and because when I saw Travis Bickle, what made me think of the Joker was that the Joker in like the Joaquin Phoenix version of the Joker from the movie Joker draws a lot of inspiration from Travis Bickle. He is a very Travis Bickle-like character, and the people who admire him not just as a good character, but look up to him as though he's some kind of hero to emulate, do so for similar reasons as people do that with Travis Bickle. Like they don't get that this is a tragic, broken person. Like this isn't someone to look to as a role model. This is someone to look at as, oh, what a great character, what a great performance, but not a hero to be emulated. That's crazy, but there you go.
Foolish would be a better word.
Foolish, unwise,
and short-sighted,
asinine.
Short-sighted is also a lovely word.
Yes.
I like short-sighted because it's technically not ableist. I'll just make fun of short people all day.
I mean, let's face
it. And I won't feel bad about it either.
You shouldn't. You know why?
Short people got
no reason to live.
They do, though.
It's such a mean song.
Somebody's got to look up to the tall people.
It's such a mean song, and it's just like out of nowhere. He's like, you know what? I'm going to write a song about short people because fuck them, right? And it's like, I don't. What?
It's so petty.
Like, I'm writing a whole ass song about short people and how they deserve to die. Oh, are you sure about this, Randy? Yeah, fuck it. I'm doing it.
So it is now 6:29 according to my computer.
Yes, me too. Shall we watch some Hilda? We will be watching Hilda. This is a big day. We're starting season 2 of Hilda. Chapter 1 of season 2, The Troll Circle. So hopefully everybody has had plenty of time while we've been yakking to queue it up.
Hang on. They're trying to watch Netflix, and I need to say, Y'all have to watch something else. I'll be right back.
Go bring the hammer down.
Family time, guys. Family? Family. No, see, you're not supposed to do that.
Oh, you're not supposed to do that with family.
Sorry, I know you Marylanders.
That's awful. That's spurious and libelous, and I will have harsh words for her about that when she gets back. Yeah, Danny K. Yeah, Phoenix's Joker also draws from Max Cady and Rupert Pupkin, big time from Rupert Pupkin. Yeah, I think when I did my review video, I kind of pegged it, and I wasn't the only one. Like a lot of people saw this, that the two major influences on that movie were Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. He's definitely a Rupert Pupkin type character as well. In fact, for most of the movie, he's probably closer to Rupert Pupkin than he is Travis Bickle. Um,
Oh.
but yeah, those are very much the inspirations.
I have been informed of
Hello.
what our next show maybe should be. And I was like, I got told it's a really good show, and I'm sorry, but it just got so dramatic, and I'm so excited. I'm just like, I mean,
What show?
I can't tell you, Steve.
It has to be a surprise. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think you've seen it, but I guess I can tell you so that you won't see it. But have you seen advertisements on Netflix for Kipo?
I don't even know what that is.
It's a show, genius. I mean,
what's it called again?
Kipo, Kipo.
Kipo. No, I've never heard of that.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and reload this sucker.
Yes.
Hi.
Because today we will not be watching Kipo. We will be watching Hilda.
Hilda.
Season 2, Chapter 1. Huh?
I still got 2 syllables. All right. Well, I got it loaded.
All right,
rated
everybody.
TVY7 for fantasy violence and something else. I don't know. Anyway.
I'm sure it's just incredibly objectionable. Okay. Everybody, hopefully you've got the episode queued up. We're going to start this baby. I'll count us in from 3. As always, it'll be 3, 2, 1, play, and hit play when I say play. Okay. Ready, Dana?
I am so ready, Steve.
Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, they faked us out. No opening credits yet.
I was ready to sing along. Kemp Chalmers. I don't think so. I think I would recognize that. Is it a happy, fun movie?
No, not at all.
No?
You would remember it if you had seen it.
I've seen Taxi.
Very different.
That one's got
similar in some very superficial respects.
Oh, does Taxi Driver also have Queen Latifah?
No, but it does have taxis in it.
Oh. Hey, at least she apologized. And meant it. Oh boy, these are really bad. Ooh.
Wow, wow, wow. Complain, complain, complain.
$255 AD, perhaps.
And now our story.
Our story continues.
True, yeah.
Tick, tick, tick.
It was a dirty movie.
Pie!
That's you. Looks like a lovely savory pie.
Uh-huh. Oh boy, I bet it's David.
How'd you enjoy the video? I love her accent. She's killed.
Uh-oh. The principal said it was okay, Mama. Oh, dun dun dun.
No, seriously, what's the big prize? It's a police blimp from Gotham City.
$255 AD. What is it with you and spoilers? Goodness gracious.
Mm-hmm.
With
Yay, troll breath. That's your cue.
gracious.
Wow, I can't wait for it to crash and catch fire. It's a sensible regulation. Safety waits for no one. So let's do the unsafe thing.
You with your logic, Steve. Goodness gracious.
Philip, you say he reminds you a little of Tim Curry. He reminds me a little, just a little bit of Zap Brannigan from Futurama.
When in doubt, hit it.
Yeah. Oh, thank God
Or
that
kick
all
it.
this works.
Uh-oh.
You ever read anything about the Hindenburg, Hilda?
There you go.
I'm writing all this down.
Buzz, buzz.
I love how important the bell is to anti-troll operations. It's like we have to give the people the bells.
Gee, 25580, I'm not sure.
It's
What could
very
they
subtle.
possibly...
Oh, yes, I could go for the cold sandwich. Ha, you tell him, Hilda.
Uh-oh. Hilda does not seem happy with this. Or woman. Oh, that looks like cucumber and watercress.
Hence his confusion. $2.55 AD. The green shit on my pizza was green pepper. See, the bell is very important. It's the railroad.
Hilda's face. Oh, so touchy.
Oh no, it's like that scene in the vampire movie.
Lens cap. Alfred would agree with him.
You know, if she'd been using a digital camera, she could have uploaded those shots to the cloud already. That's the bell? Doesn't sound very bellish. See, they tried that on the Hulk too, and it didn't work. Okay, we'll just leave you there to die. Oh, nope.
Uh-oh.
Not my pig. Well, you should have done that when they grabbed the goat, dude.
Historical documents.
I love that. Oh, what a great closing line. Well, at least a bunch of tiny invisible people will know the truth.
So,
I like it. Good episode. Good way to start
what? Hang on.
the new
Give
season.
me
What?
just a minute. All of a sudden, I lost sound, like after the episode was over.
Oh no. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I just had to unplug my headphones and plug them back in again. Why? I don't know, because sometimes that's what you have to do with your computer.
Computers, am I right? But yeah, I like that. That's a good start to a season. I like the new characters.
Mm-hmm.
I like the safety officers. Like I said, the guy Allberg reminds me a little bit of Zap Brannigan, just like a guy who whose ego is massive and completely unwarranted. It's like it's not just that he's a little big for his britches. It's like he doesn't seem
He's
to
a
be
lot big for his
he,
britches.
he doesn't seem to be good at anything.
Oh,
and
he's
yet
good
he
at some things, just nothing useful.
and yet he somehow has convinced himself that he's like the greatest thing ever.
I don't know that he has.
Well, he apparently has. I mean, perhaps there's insecurity underneath, but
Yeah,
that's
or he has at least convinced himself that he needs to prove to others that he is the greatest thing
well,
ever.
yes, that's true.
And
Yeah,
he's willing to do whatever it takes to do that. Whatever. Yes, well, actually, no, Corey, I can't, but I can read.
whatever it takes, except put in the work to get good at stuff.
Well, no, but like he said, sometimes he has to make stuff happen. There has to be stuff for him to get good at. That
Hence, going out of his way to piss off the trolls.
Exactly. Makes perfect sense. It's terrifically, it's a terrible idea, but it's a terrible idea that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Philip, yeah, good catch. Also, the much more capable lieutenant. Yes, also,
Yes.
also reminiscent of Futurama. Yeah, and I love her accent.
Wunderbar.
Wunderbar. Isn't it wonderful that the bells will just piss off the trolls even more?
Although she wasn't around when Hilda said that, so she might have noted it down.
Perhaps.
So, and Hilda didn't seem to notice that she was actually, capable, somewhat capable.
Yeah. Chris Pagliarini. He will celebrate his troll encounter with some champagne.
So, you liked it?
I liked it. Yes, yes.
Me too.
I mean, it's like I said, it's I sort of view it mostly as a promising start. Like it didn't stand out to me as like one of the best episodes of that I've seen or anything, but it's like
no,
okay.
Then.
Well, that's kind of how I felt. I don't think you've watched any of the new season of Superman and Lois, but
Nope.
like when Superman and Lois came back for its second season recently, like the first episode of that was very much like this, where it's like it wasn't like outstanding in and of itself, but it laid up like building blocks that feel promising. It's like it's a good start. They're doing like a season long story, and it's like, okay, this is the beginning of a lot of these things, and I'm encouraged by where this looks like it's going. And same thing with Hilda.
Okay, 255 AD. Can you expand on what you mean by problematic? Because I think I know where you're going, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I'm not really. Nothing's. I mean,
why I'm guessing not the story, but I'm guessing you're saying that the allegory would be problematic.
Well, and I mean, it could be. I mean, obviously, Native American would be the most obvious to us, but I mean, I think any kind of colonization history, you could make a similar argument. Any kind of outside force coming in and taking over and saying, we know how to use this land better than you do, even though you've lived here for however many thousand years. And
America's done that a lot, but it's not the only time it's happened. So
we stole it from other people.
That's what we do. We take him we don't come up with jack. We even steal the bad stuff.
Yep.
Yay. Don't communicate with their oppressor, with the encroachers that don't communicate effectively with the encroachers. And why should they? Because I think it could be viewed as problematic if you only saw this much, but I think we get some development of that. Again, the perspective we're getting is, Hilda and the other humans. And Hilda gives more credit to the trolls than anybody else. And, even her knowledge is limited.
Also,
so
and
just because the humans think the trolls are violent monsters that can't communicate. That doesn't necessarily make it so. And I think that part of the allegory is also very important.
Yeah, just because we think that they're quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote savages doesn't mean that they are. Um, Also, it just occurred to me just now because I don't know what's coming. I don't know if they reveal that the trolls have a deeper culture than they appear to at first or not. But even if they don't go that
No
direction,
spoilers, 255 AD.
even if they don't go that direction, and they do leave them as 255 AD puts it, violent monsters that can't communicate. Uh, uh, that would be problematic if you read it as an allegory of colonizers mistreating native people, but you could also read that as an environmental thing. It could be
Yeah.
human civilization encroaching on a natural habitat, and you
And
know
changing it
and
rather
changing it.
than
And because
cooperating with it.
like that line that Alberg says, that kind of, that I agree, it kind of tips it in the direction of, oh, this is like an allegory for colonization, because he says,
Mm-hmm.
well, they weren't doing anything useful with the land. But I've heard
They were
similar
living there.
but I've heard similar lines from people who um would favor like development instead of conservation. You know what I mean? Like, what about if there's like a particular animal habitat, like, well, they weren't doing anything with it, like, it's possible to interpret it as something other than, you know, a colonization allegory. It could also be an environmental allegory of, humans destroying an animal's habitat for their own purposes. And
Mm-hmm.
do we have the right to do that? Or is that a wise thing for us to do? But like I say, I don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
You could, at this point, one episode in, I feel like you could read it either way.
Yeah.
Well,
Hmm. Golly, how is it only 7 o'clock?
you got to last at least until what, how long is your meeting?
Meeting that I don't know, as brief as I can
Right.
manage to
Well,
make it.
it doesn't start till 8, so you've
It
got to at
doesn't
least
start till 8.
at least
So,
make it till a little bit after 8,
yep,
however
that
long it
means I
takes.
gotta, well, I mean, I'll probably want to stop before then so that I can make sure that I'm in my jammies and I got stuff packed for school tomorrow.
Oh,
Tomorrow is
sure.
the last day of school for the week. Well, sort of. It's the last day with students for the week, and then we'll have winter break. And teachers go back on Friday, but we have a day full of meetings. Yay!
Yay.
Not full of, well, the day is full of meetings, but I ain't got to go to all of them. So that's a plus. So it's going to be catching up on grading and calling parents, guardians, and caregivers, and making
Hooray.
more lesson plans, hopefully that go as awesome as the one did today. Woohoo!
Although that
So
is a high bar.
that's true. But I mean, like I said, hopefully.
Yes.
One can always hope. Um, Dolphin, I would say significantly better for the majority of people.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I think that's a reasonable thing to say in a very, very general sense. But this the thing to keep in mind is we have no idea what it would look like, because it has been so
Mm-hmm.
radically reshaped by colonization
That's
that
true.
it's like, how would you even end? Because you can't. Who knows how those societies would have been allowed to evolve naturally,
Mm-hmm.
or form relationships with, with other societies that were a little more equitable, that it wasn't just European powers coming in and taking over. What if they had been able to maintain trade agreements that did not destroy their entire culture or rob them of everything they had? What would those societies be like 3, 4, 500 years in the future, if they had been allowed to grow and evolve naturally? There's no way you can tell, because like there's the idea of, well, it would be different because we brought civilization to these primitive people, but they wouldn't still be quote unquote primitive today. At least not all of them. I mean, maybe some of them would have decided to eschew technology and just, live by themselves. But I'm quite sure many, if not most, of the, for instance, of the Native American tribes that were here at the time would be, even if we had not crushed them, with colonization and genocide, they would probably have taken part in things like the Industrial Revolution and the technological revolution of the 19th and 20th centuries,
I don't
just
know.
just as much as other societies did, and perhaps would have even contributed to those things in ways that we can't anticipate now because they never got the chance. Like you cannot imagine what the world would be like today.
I think I first of all, no, yes, you absolutely can't imagine. You cannot
Well,
predict with any
you can't
accuracy, or
imagine
you
what it would
cannot
be.
say with accuracy.
Yes.
I think, yeah,
Which I think is
but
what
you
you
can
know I
totally
meant.
imagine. Yes, I think so. But I wanted to clarify, just in case anyone got the wrong idea. I want to prevent that. I don't want to have people getting the wrong ideas, Steve.
No.
But I think you can definitely imagine what the world would have been like. And I disagree that we can be confident that other societies would have participated in the Industrial Revolution. Arguably, you could just as easily argue that the Industrial Revolution wouldn't have happened because there would have been more societies. That the Industrial Revolution is tied to profit motive and capitalization and the increasing the power held by those with capital. And a lot of pre-industrial societies were much more equitably focused and might have rejected the possibility, seeing the focus on a less equitable distribution of resources, would have said, that's not good. You shouldn't do that, and have not only resisted it for themselves, but pushed back against it so that the non-colonial European powers would have possibly acquiesced and changed their society in response. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I mean that's possible. So
I think
hard to say.
Well, that's part of what I'm saying is I don't think we can say with any degree of confidence what it would have been like because colonialism was such a powerful influence for so long.
Yes. And it's like C.S. Lewis said, no one can ever know what would have happened.
Yeah. I mean, I think, again, speaking in very, very general terms, I think it's probable that some kind of industrial revolution would have happened eventually that would have involved most people or most societies in the world. Would it have proceeded along the same lines as it did in our history? Probably not, for reasons that you brought up about, the power differential, and the fact that so much of what drove our industrial revolution was the fact that powerful states had through colonization and empire had basically claimed vast amounts of natural resources that
they then had the opportunity to make use of
that they
for their own benefit.
And that they basically got to take. They didn't have to negotiate for it. They didn't have to trade for it. They didn't have to bargain with anybody. They just came in and took over and said, that's ours, that's ours, that's ours. And a lot of that is what drove the Industrial Revolution.
Yes.
And so I don't think it would have just not happened, but it may have happened on a different time scale. It may have happened in a different way, but I think the development and the increasing sophistication and evolution of technology is inevitable. And I think some people might have the idea that, well, if we hadn't genocided the Native Americans, then they would still be living today, much as they were 300 years ago. And I don't think that's the case. I think their societies would have changed and evolved just as European societies did, just without colonialism to destroy them. And it would have been obviously much, much different.
Yeah. 255 AD. You talk about. Well, I don't know. You didn't give the title book, but Graeber's book making the point that natives were rational political actors. To some degree, yes, but my guess is that native peoples had similar mixes of rational and emotional and unreasonable and shit stirrers as
of course they did.
Any other group of people. You have no group of people is going to be completely rational. So
of course they did.
And again, I'm getting this secondhand from just what you're stating, 255 AD. So maybe
Well,
that's an overstatement of Graeber's point,
I think
but
we talked about this on a previous stream. I don't remember if it was one of our shows or if it was me just mouthing off by myself in one of my Askaways, but I remember
as you
recently,
do.
as I do, but as I will on Friday. Um, but I remember talking very about the indigenous peoples of the Americas, for example, and how and now you can apply the same thing to the indigenous the tribes in Africa. That yeah, yeah,
As I think Kemp did.
yeah, yeah, and speaking that if the storyline in Hilda this season is
Mm-hmm.
meant as an allegory for colonization, it's more likely that it would be specifically referring to Africa and perhaps also to India,
Mm-hmm.
Asia just generally, because
Mm-hmm.
that's closer to that part of the world. But there were native societies in the Americas that were peaceful and lived in harmony with nature and did all of the sort of positive things that we kind of infantilize Native American societies for doing. And there were also
Noble
society
savage type stuff.
there were societies that did that kind of stuff, but that's an oversimplification because
Yeah.
they were all they there were also there were wars between native
Mm-hmm.
tribes. They fought over land, they fought over access to resources, they fought over cultural stuff. There were more powerful tribes that subjugated less powerful tribes, and then there were, I mean, all
They were
the
people. Gee,
they were
imagine that.
people. Yeah, all the normal stuff that happens in human history happened with their societies just the same as it did in Asia and Africa and Europe and everywhere. So it's not that they were perfect and that we
Yeah.
came to this country and destroyed these perfect peaceful societies.
Yeah.
It's that we had no right, or our ancestors, not us, but our European ancestors had no right to just come and take what they had. Like
Yeah.
that's the the bottom line. It's not that their societies were inherently better than anybody else's. It's that no, they were here, they had a thing going that worked for them, and we decided to just sweep that off the table because we
Mm-hmm.
thought we had something, because we thought we deserved it more than they did.
Yeah. And 255 I think that's a clear statement of I think what you meant. And that was kind of what I was trying to get. I thought that was kind of what you meant, but I wanted to clarify that. Oh boy, I'm gonna
So
be
shall we
not just to finish combing my hair. Yes, let's.
shall we bring this to a close? So I want to, first of all, let me remind everybody. Let me show everybody, in case you didn't see this last week.
Uh-huh.
My very
I
fine
wondered.
hat. My very fine
Da
hat.
da 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 da.
This is my very fine hat that Dana
Oh
made for
golly,
me.
I still need to make for somebody else.
for
So,
for your first patron.
my
But
first patron.
this is a reward for the $20 a month level of Dana's Patreon, which is linked in the description of this video. And you don't have to pledge at $20 a month. That's just the highest level. You can pledge at any amount you want, and there's different rewards and different tiers. And you can go to patreon.com/DanaColeDares to learn all about that. Yeah, well, you were going to say something.
I don't know if you can pledge any amount you want. I'm not real good at this Patreon thing, but I think I've got like $1 and $5 and then the $20. And so feel free, you can pledge I think that's the smallest amount that I can put in there. So feel free, join with the dollar amount, and you can still we're working on the swearing content.
Yes. But yeah,
I need to work on my first video for that. I need to think what I'm going to talk about. Oh, I'm so
And
excited.
are you going to edit the podcast, or am I? I know you said you wanted to give it a shot, but
I want to give it a shot, but I think I want you to edit it. At least I think over spring break, I'll have a week where I can practice, and you can okay, press that. No. Okay, you just want to make it look like this, and I can share my screen and stuff. And you'd be like, no, you need to. Okay, so not that one. And I'll be like, I don't understand this, Steve. What the heck? Only I won't just say heck.
No, because it'll just be the two of us, and you can say whatever the hell you want.
And I can screen or record that, and that can be one of my swearing videos.
Oh, that could be like a that could be like a patrons only live stream of us editing a podcast and you getting frustrated and screaming and swearing. But anyway,
so yeah, my students got to they've really gotten the hang of this. So one of the writings that I wanted them to do today was an example of, text messaging and using that and talked about that. So I set up, there's an online program called Remind that will allow you to text message, even if without other people seeing your phone number. So a lot of teachers use that to communicate with students via text message without actually the students having to give them the phone number. So that's what I was going to do. And I was going to say, okay, so you're going to send this in to my Remind account, but you're also going to screenshot it and then use that as your example, because it would do that. But I couldn't get it to set up, and I didn't find out until I couldn't practice it because I didn't have them as members on the account. And so I'm just like, all right, this was working. I've done this with other classes. Why isn't this working? And they're just like, Mrs. Cole, you're not practicing being patient with the computer. I'm like, thank you for reminding me, because they were right. And I was like, I'm not swearing, but my volume was rising and the tone was getting tenser.
Your patience was wearing thin.
Oh, so but I didn't swear. Dolphin, my foot, we're still working on it, and it's kind of slowed down. I'm at the point where I'm out of the brace, I'm out of the boot, and I'm walking around normally. But when I do sit-ups in the morning, because I have my knees up, and my left foot, I can put it down on the floor, but my right foot is just I can put the heel on the floor, but if I try to put the toes down, they don't go all the way down. And also walking downstairs is difficult because when my left foot goes down a step, my right foot, it flexes extra, and it doesn't like that. I don't have the same range of movement that I used to. So it's still working on it. And, but it's not where it had been before yet. So we'll see.
Getting back to normal, but not there.
Hopefully. Yeah. Well, it's hard to say whether I will get there. I'm hoping that it is, and it's not just going to be like this forever. But, it's livable. So.
Yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, Patreon.
255AD, I'm going to add that to my, sorry. Yeah, we're winding down. I'm going to add that to my Goodreads. What?
I'm sorry. I'm like, go ahead. It's useless. It's useless to resist. Just go ahead.
To resist what? I don't.
To resist you and whatever you want to do. You're going to talk over me. I'm literally starting a sentence and you jump into talking about something completely different. Go ahead. Do whatever you want.
I'll put it on my. I'll put it on my want to read list. Okay, Steve.
You know the best part? I'm trying to push your Patreon and your channel, and you're like, never mind that. Let me talk about some nonsense with someone in the chat that has nothing to do with anything.
They're participating. They're your fans, Steve. I can't just leave them hanging. That's not right.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Patreon.com/Dana Cole Dares. Also, Dana's YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dana Cole Dares. Linked in the description. Leave comments. She loves to talk. I'm just kidding, right? I'm just playing. I'm not trying to make you feel bad.
Well, you're succeeding anyway.
Oh, shit. Anyway, also, don't forget the charity links, charitylinks.page. Also
very
linked
important.
in the
Help
description.
People out. Helping people is good.
Absolutely. Helping people is very good. And you can click the charity links and you can find people to help out.
Yay!
And I will be back on Friday for Ask Away on this very channel at 6 p.m.
So if you're one of Steve's patrons, you need to send in your questions.
Absolutely. If you haven't already. See you, Mac. Come on. Clock's ticking, bud. And this, not only because this is an Ask Away week and the way we've worked this out, it is also a Saturday 6 week because I'm doing my live stream at 6 p.m. Eastern on Friday. And then the next day at 6 p.m. Eastern on your YouTube channel is the next edition of the Saturday 6, your live stream.
Yes. Originally I had it as the Saturday 7, but then I was like, oh, well, we've got, you do Ask Away at 6, and then we do Trek Reluctantly at 6. I'm like, if I have it at 7, I'm going to screw it up. I'll be like, okay. No, it's not 6, and I'll start at the wrong time, or I'll forget about it entirely, and then I'll just feel really bad. So I was like, okay, just 6 o'clock. Let's keep it consistent. I think I can manage that. And even then, sometimes, like last time, I was like, I was cussing at the computer, something fierce, and it didn't start exactly on time. And some random geek was saying, Dini, you didn't start on time. And I was like, I know I didn't start on time. Sorry.
I don't need you to tell me that.
I'm not a professional YouTuber.
Not yet.
So that's why I ask a professional YouTuber, and Steve says, "We'll try it. We'll dating to start early." I'm like, I know.
And we will. And Dolphin, the next DS9 stream is right here next week, and we will be watching one of the favorite episodes, I think, of a lot of people of DS9 because it features Garrick, everybody's favorite character. Not everybody's favorite character, but a very popular character.
Is it everybody's favorite character?
Everybody's favorite character. You look at you. It is, of course, The Wire.
Right.
I would
Which
say
has nothing to do with the Sting.
Has nothing to do with the Sting, and has nothing to do with the HBO series set in Baltimore.
Yeah, who cares about that?
Wow.
Look, okay, the Sting, the HBO series. I mean, come on. Young Robert Redford.
No complaints for me. Nothing wrong. Nothing. Not a damn thing wrong with that. But yeah. So next week we'll be watching Deep Space Nine. We'll be watching. Lord have mercy.
Lordy.
Have you seen his Twilight Zone episode? I think he's even younger in that. It's like baby Robert Redford. There's not a line on that man's face. And yeah.
We might have to once we get through like season 2 of DS9, we might have to take a break and watch that episode just for like a in betweeny.
Okay.
Because I have not seen that.
You have not seen that? Oh, it's such a good episode.
I don't know that I've seen any episodes of the Twilight Zone. Gracious.
I know that there are.
If we ever get finished with DS9, we can do that for your next show.
There are a couple of episodes that I know I have mentioned to you privately that I would like to watch with you. Yeah, and I guess I'll add the Robert Redford one to the list.
Awesome.
It's
Azalea Jane, congratulations!
Joe McClory, DS9 is Space Baltimore. DS9, I think, is a little more important in the Star Trek universe than Baltimore is, unfortunately. But
yeah, but Baltimore's got better music
and a much nicer Inner Harbor. I mean, like the Deep Space Nine's not a place you want to take your family for like a vacation. I don't think they have any aquarium
at all. Thing in Baltimore.
The Inner Harbor. What are you talking about? I mean, the National Aquarium. The National Aquarium. Other states have
a
aquarium.
Butterfly Garden?
I don't think there's a butterfly garden in Baltimore. I think there's one in DC, but there's not one in Baltimore. And it also has the Maryland Science Center, which is an awesome place, or at least it was when I was there 30 years ago. But I'm sure it's also very nice today. Anyway.
I'm sure they thank you for that vote of confidence.
They should put that on a poster out front. The Maryland Science Center. I think it was nice 30 years ago. It's probably still pretty nice today.
Steve Shives.
Yes. And they'd be like, who the fuck is that? He doesn't even go here. You get that reference?
Yes, I do.
Taxi Driver goes right over the head.
Well, I mean, that's a good movie.
Wow. So is Taxi Driver. Anyway, I'm glad you could say hi to Azalea. It's good to see you.
And hopefully either you're recovered or
congratulations.
you recover quickly. Yes. And if you're not fully recovered, hope you recover fully quickly and comfortably.
Yes. Yay. Joe, it does not have a wormhole. It has a Chesapeake Bay. Which is like the wormhole of the 17th century. I mean, it's like back in the old days, wormholes were like a bay was like a wormhole because you traveled through it. It's really nothing like a wormhole now that I think about it.
But when the sun hits it at like dawn and dusk, it kind of sparkly.
It does. It's very beautiful.
Kind of pinky purple.
It's very pretty. Yeah. Anyway,
but without the sucking vortex in the middle.
Yeah, no sucking vortex.
Usually.
Hopefully, I mean, if there's a sucking
Ideally.
vortex, it means there's been some kind of terrible earthquake, and
Things like that. All right, so we've talked about
the charity links,
yes, thank you.
your channel, your Patreon, your show on Saturday.
Have you talked about your Patreon? You have one,
Patreon.com/Steve Shives, you mean?
Yes, indeedy.
And then there's all, and if you would like to support my channel, you can either do so by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Steve Shives, or by becoming a channel member right here on YouTube by just clicking the join button. And the benefits to each are the same. You get the same.
Except if you are a channel member, you get a little thingy icon by your name.
That's true. You get one of those little badges.
You get that. Yeah. That's a little bonus.
Exactly. But channel members and patrons both get to ask questions ahead of time for Ask Away, and they get to vote in the polls to choose upcoming Trek Actually video topics, and it's a lot of fun. And yeah, if you like what I do here on YouTube, consider supporting the channel. And I believe that's it. I believe we are good to go.
Good show, Steve.
Oh, well, good show for you too, Dana. Thanks, everybody.
You guys are fun too. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us to watch Hilda. We'll see you next week to watch The Wire on Deep Space Nine.
Woohoo!
Take care. Bye. Everybody. Bye.